Reiki Daily number 3. And the topic today is something that I feel is really important and really urgent. It's about fear. And I'm just surprised. I did a meditation recently, and what came up for me as one big challenge in my life is my fear. And I wouldn't necessarily think of myself as somebody particularly fearful. But I did wonder why Mikao Usui, the founder of Reiki, came up with the Reiki principles, and he started with anger and fear. In fact, a lot of people kind of take almost offense to that because they feel, well, Reiki principles just for today. Do not be angry, do not worry. You think, why is there so much negativity? But the problem is we are full of anger and full of worry for all sorts of reasons. And fear is really something that can freeze us. When we are full of fear, when we fear for our life, for our career, for our loved ones, when we are afraid of the future, then we just don't know what to do anymore. It freezes us and it keeps us from doing something else. And this else may indeed be something that takes us a big step further. In fact, this else might be that we realize we are not just a human being, somebody in a body. We are not just our body, our mind. We are a spirit in a body. And as a spirit, we don't need to be afraid. And I feel this is what Mikao Usui wanted to tell us, wanted to remind everybody of. When we are full of fear, when fear rules us, we can't really open up to the truth that we are a spiritual being. It completely holds us in our body and in the limitations of our body. And as soon as we connect to Reiki, we go beyond these limitations. I mean, it's simple. We can feel something in our hands. We have healing hands. We can feel the energy coming down. We can share that with other people. We can give Reiki to ourselves. We can open up to intuition and to guidance. And we realize that beyond the struggles in our daily life, in our physical reincarnation, there is more to us. And of course, there's also more to everybody else. And we just see life in a completely different way. So when we are stuck in fear, this limits this awareness. This limits us to the physical experience, whilst at the same time we could be having both a physical experience, but the amazing awareness and the confirmation in our hands that we are a spirit in a body. For me, this is what the healing hands are all about, being a spirit in a body. So does this need to tell us off when we hear do not be worried or do not worry? And I don't feel it's meant like that. I really feel it is just a reminder that we need to become aware of what we are afraid and of how much fear rules us. Well, when we see the strong men, and quite frankly, most of them are men in the world, and they often they thrive on the fear they instigate in others on every level of society, from family, school onwards, work, in society, in politics, everywhere. So why is that? Of course, you can, rule people when they are living in fear, when they kind of need you. But why do they do that? I wonder whether they know very much what fear is because they are very much afraid. They are afraid of their shortcomings. They are afraid to be found out. They are afraid of the limited time they may have. They may be afraid of ending up in hell. This, I feel, is the ultimate fear, that there may be something beyond this life and we may end up there. So either we blank that out completely or we live completely towards this without realizing, but I'm here, I'm a spiritual being anyway, and I can live in this awareness, and it really makes such a difference. I do feel once we understand and accept that there is a lot of fear inside of us, and that's okay. But we need to know it. We need to live with it, and we need to a certain degree, overcome it. I feel once we do this, then we live a very different, a much happier, a much more meaningful, and indeed a much more powerful life. And we don't need pressure applied on other people. We don't need to instigate fear. We can just rest in this inner peace. So let me just invite you to join me for a little exercise. And it's a 2-step exercise. And I just love this method. It's called Reiki, guided by spirit in Japanese. It is a Reiki method, but you can also do it by just asking the universe, asking higher guidance, or even the divine, if you like, for the guidance. So let's just see what we are being told, what our guidance is telling us about our inner fear. So when you're ready, just bring your hands together in front of your chest, in front of your heart, and close your eyes. And connect to Reiki, or just set your intention to be guided by the universe. And then just ask, what is my deep fear? What are my deepest true fears that I'm holding? And then just move up to the point in between your eyebrows, the third eye, and see what comes into your mind. And then ask again, what can I do about it? How can I overcome it? How can I deal with it? And then bring your hands down and just place your hands on your heart for a moment and let that deeply resonate. Just take a moment to thank Reiki, or thank the universe for the guidance. Just imagine a world without fear. Just imagine life without fear. I feel this exercise has brought us all a big step towards that goal.